man's name is Todd Robbins. He's easy to see why he's the darling of the late night. He's been on over and over again with Jay Leno and David Letterman and Conan O'Brien. He's great. He's an inspiration to millions of young magicians. One lady asked me when I came down, she asked me, did I know that Billy Crystal impersonated me on Saturday Night Live? You ever see Billy Crystal do me? The first time I saw Billy Crystal as Joe Franklin, you know what I said? I said, Billy, one of us is lousy. I remember, I would always ask my guests for some little maxim, something inspirational. I remember one time my guest was Bob Hope. Michael Wright was here, because Michael does a great Bob Hope impression. Bob Hope said to me on my show, he said, if you're bald, people have asked me, am I wearing a toupee? I said, it's not a toupee, you can feel it, it's real. But Bob Hope once said, if you're bald in the front, that means you're a thinker. If you're bald in the back, it means you're a lover. If you're bald in the front and the back, it means you think you're a lover. Anyhow, that's the way it goes. I want to bring out a man now. Drew Friedman's book is called Sideshow Freaks. You're going to hear about the book later on from Mr. Friedman himself. Meanwhile, we needed one comedian who represented the golden age of TV. The man is brilliant. He's made thousands of record albums. He's got his own TV series all over the world. All I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, the great, the brilliant, the one and only Larry Storch.
Thank you so much, boys and girls. But this should be for Drew. Congratulations for Drew. Now, the only reason I dare tell you this about the cavalry is that I rode with the cavalry. And I can only tell you about George Armstrong Custer at the banks of the Little Bighorn River the night before the great battle with 1,000 Indians across the Little Bighorn River. And he heard the drums from across the river, and you know where the drums are, boom, 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 boom. And George Armstrong Custer stood at the banks and said, drums, drums, I don't like the sound of them drums. And from across the river, an Indian hollered back, he ain't our regular drummer. It's only because I am. Now, what was I going to tell you? Oh dear. Anyway. Oh, I spent a lot of time in Spanish Harlem growing up, and I spent time there, and it was a Monday morning up in Spanish Harlem. A young Spanish person put these 2 fingers to his eyes, and he said to his mother, Mama, I don't want to go to school today, Mama. I don't like the kids, and I don't like the teachers. I don't want to go to school today. And his mother said to him, Jesus, don't you give me that crap. You're going to school today. You're 31 years old and you're the principal. I'm always reminded, boys, I'm always reminded, I keep thinking of the story of Christ walking through the desert, and coming upon the mob about to stone Mary Magdalene, the Jezebel of the Bible. And I think we're all familiar with what Christ did. He put his hand up and he said, let him among you who is without sin cast the first stone. And with that, in back of Christ, a little old gray-haired lady began picking up rocks and throwing them as fast as she could. Christ turned around, saw her, and hollered, Mom! Like, this is fine. Her name was Pussy Green, do you hear? Pussy Green. Red hair, green eyes, the soul of a monkey. And she went to church one day, and as she opened the door, it could only be Pussy Green. And she walked down to the front and sat down in the very first row, legs akimbo. Huh? Legs akimbo. And the preacher saw it and stopped in the middle of his sermon. And he called a young priest over and said, "Is that Pussy Green?" And the young priest said, "No, Your Eminence, it's just a reflection from the stained glass window." Thank you all.